Ladies and gentlemen, hi, this is David Ruff, and I'm here to try to help you make more money and escape the matrix to get out of that 9 to 5 job. Quit exchanging your life for money. That's not what we want. Now, in Canada, we're coming up with a new conservative race for leadership. But what does that mean for housing? What does this mean for the future of our portfolios? How can we look at it from our own side so that we can make an informed decision? Now, there is a leadership race that is kicking off. His name is Pierre. Let's take a look at this guy in this article right now. You could take a look at this article yourself later on, whenever you feel comfortable. It is in the Ottawa Citizen. Pierre Poilievre, a look at the Conservatives candidates' key promises. Now, let's take a look at his key promises. I think these promises are important for us to dissect and figure out what does this mean. So this guy was elected in 2004 for the first time, long time ago. He is running for the leadership of the Conservative Party, yes, and he has some very key promises that he is looking to deliver upon. Now, what are they? Number one, on energy, he's promised to cancel Ottawa's carbon tax, and he wants to build more pipelines. That's a big deal, right? To build a lot more pipelines. Okay, he is still going to be tackling greenhouse gas emissions, but he doesn't talk about details about that. What does he talk about? A pay as you go law. Now, this is going to affect you a lot. It wants to cap federal spending at a budgeted amount and force it to find savings when something new is added. So, do you see what that means? Is the way the governments have been operating for decades is when they don't have the money, they go print it, and they keep printing it, and they keep printing it over and over again. As they print money, we create inflation. So he's saying you have to cap how much is borrowed, how much they can create, and you have to go cut something else if you want something. So everybody says, well, that's a great idea, right? We should always only spend what we have. But this is not the way it really works. Remember, Milton Friedman back in the 70s and 80s was making movies because we have a very tough choice. He was a world renowned Nobel Prize winning economist. We've asked the government to give us everything we've ever wanted, but never cut me anything. So nobody ever wants to pay the price and pay that pain, right? They don't want any cuts in anything, because if you want something, you got to lose something. I remember my brother had a kid, and the kid would like a new toy. And he said, when you want a new toy, you're going to have to decide to throw one of these toys out. So she had to make that decision. Very tough, right? Which one do I throw out? I like all my toys, right? So you're going to have to make these decisions. What do you want to cut in your life in order to get this other plus? Because the government is not an eternal horn of plenty. So this will have serious consequences. All the other places that need stuff, they're going to be asking for cuts or going to raise taxes on things like real estate. This would force them, you see, to live within the budget, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. All right, so he also wants to promote free speech, withhold federal funding to institutions that don't commit to doing so. So that could be a big deal. So that's all universities could lose out some of their funding. This one is very interesting. This one will affect your drive to break free from the matrix on the Bank of Canada. Again, go read this on the OttawaCitizen.com. They want to subject the central bank to the federal auditor general. Now, this hasn't happened before. And notice, secondly, he promises to ban its proposed digital currency. Whoa. Okay. So how could you put two such monster things one after the other? Okay. Number one, subjecting them to an audit. Whoa. Okay. So you can't just go and print money as much as you want. You're going to be forced not to create anymore. Now, the central bank creates money. Yeah. But they're not the ones spending it. So it's kind of like a roundabout way, because the government's the one spending it, and the central bank's got to print it. They got to come up with that money and create it. So it's kind of a roundabout way of saying it. But if they are subject to the auditor general, there's going to be reports on how much they can spend. So he's trying to limit it two ways. He's going to, number one, do the pay as you go at the government, which is what they're going to call fiscal policy, how much money they will spend. And then the monetary policy is the Bank of Canada also being subject to the Governor General, about how much money they can print both ways. And the second monstrosity of a thing, ban digital currency that it has planned. So stop thinking about, you guys, will it come? Will it not come? There's over 90 countries right now looking into a central bank digital currency, and Canada and the United States are right up there on the list. And so any country that is going to have a monopoly on their money is not going to like crypto. Any country that has their own type of crypto, their central bank digital currency, is not going to like Bitcoin and Ethereum, which goes exactly to what I've been saying forever. There's two types of taxation in the world, and one is you tax on usage. So instead of going and paying taxes at the till when you check out, instead of paying just 13% or something, you're going to be paying 25%, like some countries like Cayman Islands. That's usage. Or you get taxed on your income tax, how much you make. So almost every single country that taxes on income, I expect them to ban things like Bitcoin and Ethereum or have a lot of oversight on it. But he is saying that he wants to ban central bank digital currencies. So why does he feel that central bank digital currency is something that is wrong? You know, and it all comes down to Ethereum in my books. The difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum is quite large. Bitcoin is like a collector's item, right? Something that's rare, that doesn't exist very much on Earth. But Ethereum is the backbone that a lot of things are built off of. And they're built off of something called, I don't remember if my coin says it. It does. It says smart contracts on it. Smart contracts. So when I send a Bitcoin to somebody, imagine that I'm just giving a loonie to somebody or a dollar, you know, and I get my item. It's a very one-sided transaction. Ethereum has a lot of if conditions. So this is why they could give you the money if you don't do something else with it. There's a condition. So imagine in real estate where you have two banks, okay, both lending to the buyer and the seller, and they both have lawyers. So now there's all these 6 different entities. And on the last day, because everyone wants to make sure the trust is happening, the money has to go from a bank to a lawyer, make sure they change the name on the registry, to the other lawyer, to another bank. There's all these steps to ensure that everything is happening safely. But within Ethereum and smart contracts, the only way the money can get moved is if all the conditions are put in. Let's take an example of real estate. I want to buy real estate and I want to sell real estate. So the deed has to go from here to here. And then we have on this side, we have the money that has to go from here to here. That's all the real estate transaction really is. We just have to move it, but we don't trust everybody. We don't know the buyer or the seller. So what we're trying to do is we have all of these firewalls, right? We have the lawyers in the middle and we have the banks in the middle, all trying to make sure that everyone plays fair. But Ethereum acts like the granddaddy in this whole thing, that you could send the deed into Ethereum. You could send the money into Ethereum, and only if all the conditions are satisfied will the program redistribute the things that you need. It's possible that this could take away a lot of jobs in the future. It's possible. I don't know how it's going to go. But just imagine what I'm saying now about the conditions put on it. The way that a government could make money, notice I'm saying could. I'm not saying that they ever will. I'm not saying that they could have bad motives, but they could say that all the money that you get paid has to be paid in a central bank digital currency, like a Canadian coin, let's call it. So if a Canada coin comes in your bank account, they might be able to say you can only eat this much meat, or you cannot buy as much alcohol, or you can't use as much oil, you can't buy as much gas, or they could start putting conditions on the money that you have. So today, me and you will walk around, we'll have $1 in our account, and what can you spend it on? You can spend it on whatever you want. But the way that central bank currencies are built with smart contracts on it, there could be an if. There could be, you cannot spend the money more than 10 kilometers from your home. Let's say if there was a lockdown, or they could say all kinds of things. The money would not be cashable if. Now, please be clear. I am not saying that this is a possibility, that it's going to happen. Okay, I'm not saying for sure it's going to happen, but I'm saying that power will rest with any government that has a central bank digital currency. And so that is the fear That is the fear, is would somebody somewhere down the line abuse that power that they have? So that is why he is trying to ban central bank digital currencies, just so that you understand that part. Okay, now let's get back to this article. What are his key promises? Now, this is a tough one. On housing, he says he would force cities such as Toronto, where I live, and Vancouver to increase new home building by 15% under threat of losing federal funding. So, it's easy to say that I want you to build more, but it's not the city that builds the houses, right? It is the builders. So how would they incentivize the builders? Maybe give them really fast permits, maybe giving them extra incentives to build. He's also saying that he will give $10,000 to each municipality for every home that is built and converted into affordable housing. Okay, that might not be enough to swing investors to go and build that, but it might be. I don't know. But his point is that he wants to try to tackle the housing problem in the places where it is the most stressed. Now, we are seeing price drops in Vancouver, Toronto, in Canada. They're the highest cost of homes in the country. So they're experiencing the biggest drops in prices. If we go and look in the US, whether you're in like New York or LA or something, they're the highest, most expensive homes, and they're dropping the most. It doesn't matter what country you're in. It's always the same rules. So this is the new guy who's proposing to come in. He's coming in for the Conservative government. If they do come in, there's going to be a lot of changes. Every time that a government cycles in and out, there are a lot of changes. And there's also in Canada, very different from the US, we have a majority and minority government. So that could change a lot of things too. Anyway, this is the platform that he's trying to run on. I'm wondering, do you think he's going to win? Do you think he's going to win? I'm not really sure if he's going to win. I don't think so. But what do you think? Is he going to win? And is this platform that he's running on something that you would support? Anyway, I'd love to know what you think. If you like this stuff, put a comment below. Let me know why you like it. And if you don't like it, put a comment below and let me know why not. I'm really honestly curious. Anyway, stay curious, stay hungry, keep on pushing, and be careful because there's a lot of fireworks coming in the next 6 months. Anyway, I'm there for you. I'm there for your health, wealth, and happiness. Please, if you know anyone that this could help, just send it to one person. It would really, really, really help me out. We're trying to grow the channel and get the word out there. Please remember to like and subscribe and follow, and I'll catch you on the next video. Hey guys, on